Welcome to AI Paper Drop. I'm Alex.
And I'm Maya. What if we have been spending years trying to fix the wrong problem? What if the hardest part of an AI seeing an image isn't actually the seeing but the talking?
That sounds counterintuitive. When you think about a robot or a drone, the camera is doing a ton of work. It is processing millions of pixels, identifying objects, mapping the room. That has to be where the battery dies, right?
That is exactly what everyone thought. For years, the big goal for edge AI developers has been shrinking the images or pruning visual tokens. Basically, they were trying to make the AI squint so it would use less power.
Right, because if you feed a massive 4K image into a model, you assume the GPU is just screaming for mercy, trying to crunch all those numbers.
Exactly. And the stakes here are huge. We are talking about drones and handheld devices where every single joule of energy matters. If your AI is eating 500 joules per query, your battery is going to vanish in a heartbeat.
So, if the image processing isn't the culprit, where is the leak?
It is in the way these models actually work. These vision language models have two distinct phases. First, there is the pre-fill phase, where the AI looks at the image and the prompt. Then, there is the decode phase, where it actually writes the answer.
Okay, so pre-fill is the seeing and decode is the speaking. Why is speaking so much more expensive?
Think of it like this. Pre-filling is like filling a giant bucket from a massive reservoir. The water just flows in fast and efficiently. The hardware is built for this. It can crunch all those visual tokens in one big, fast motion.
And decoding?
Decoding is like trying to empty that same bucket, but you can only use a tiny thimble, one drop at a time. To get the next word, the model has to look back at everything it has already said and everything it saw. It has to move massive amounts of data from memory to the processor over and over again for every single token.
So the processor is basically sitting there idling, waiting for a tiny bit of data to arrive via a very narrow straw, but the power is still running. That sounds like a nightmare for efficiency.
It is. And the researchers proved this by testing everything from NVIDIA RTX cards to Jetson Orin chips. They found that the actual power draw is almost constant. Whether the image is simple or complex, the GPU pulls roughly the same amount of wattage.
Wait, so the complexity of the image does not change how much power the chip draws?
Almost not at all. Less than 5% variation. The only reason a complex image uses more energy is that it usually makes the AI talk more. If the AI sees 10 objects and decides to describe every single one of them, the energy spike comes from the length of the sentence, not the number of objects in the photo.
That is wild. So the visual complexity is just a trigger for more talking?
Exactly. And the numbers are honestly shocking. They found that generating one single output token takes 11 to 39 times longer than processing an input token.
39 times? That is a massive gap.
It really is. Here is the kicker. If you remove almost all the visual tokens to try and save energy, you might save 10% of the total power. 10%. But if you just tell the model to give a shorter answer, you can slash energy consumption by up to 97%.
Hold on, 97%? Just by changing the output length?
Yeah. They had one test where they changed a prompt from a long description to a short answer. The processing time dropped from 18 seconds down to 0.07 seconds.
I did not expect a gap that huge. It makes all those fancy visual pruning techniques seem like we were rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic.
Right? We were obsessing over the pixels when we should have been obsessing over the punctuation.
So what does this mean for the people actually building these things? If I'm building a smart camera for a warehouse, what do I change?
You stop worrying so much about image resolution and you start obsessing over output constraints. Instead of trying to compress the image, you force the model to be concise. You budget for tokens, not pixels.
It basically turns the engineering problem into a linguistic one. You're not optimizing a sensor. You're optimizing a conversation.
Exactly. This opens a huge door for the next generation of wearable AI and robotics. We can have much smarter, more capable eyes on our devices as long as we keep the mouth shut.
I love that. The secret to green AI is basically just teaching the AI to stop rambling.
Precisely. In the world of edge AI, seeing is free, but speaking is expensive. If you are enjoying this, follow or subscribe to AI Paper Drop wherever you listen. It really helps, and we have a new episode every day.
Paper by Junfei Zhang, Haoxuan Shun, Min Ganghua, Zixuan Huang, Tingjiu He, produced by AI Paper Drop.